Hello everyone, Jeff here for Respawn Studios with a full achievement and fully commentated walkthrough of Sagebrush. There are 12 achievements in this game. There are optional audio tapes. We're going to pick up all of those. There's achievements for 4, 8, and then all of them. There's an optional achievement to find a pregnancy test. We're going to get that. There's an optional achievement to find flashlight batteries, and an optional one to run around the bases on the makeshift baseball field. Otherwise, the achievements, of course, are story related, but I'm going to show you the full game, commentate all of it, because this is a pretty fast speed run. Because the first 2 times I tried to record this, unfortunately, the file got corrupted. The first time the game froze, so I want to also add narration to point out some times where the game can go wrong. When you unlock achievements and they pop up, if you hold down the guide button, there's almost like a 50-50 chance that will freeze the game. That's what happened to me about 2 minutes from the end, the last time I was trying to record this, about an hour ago. So try and avoid holding down the guide button to pull up a full description when you unlock achievements. So the story of this game, in case you're interested, you might just want to play through it once on your own. It takes probably about an hour if you don't know what you're doing. But you see this one will be just about 30 minutes, a little over. The story is you're the sole survivor of a suicide death cult, and you're coming back to kind of face that trauma because you've always struggled with it since leaving. So we're going to find some grisly things. We're going to find audio tapes that talk about this woman's story. For some reason, her audio tapes are spread around everyone else's cabins in strange places, but whatever. It's a pretty well-told story. There's a male voice actor that kind of sucks, but the main woman is good. So here it's still the opening cutscene. We're not allowed to move yet. The main thing that I'll be doing throughout the entire game is holding down left trigger to run, which obviously you go much faster when running. So if you want to just buy this game, it only costs $6, which maybe I should have mentioned up front, but this is a very cheap game, easy way to get 1,000 gamer score. So if you're just watching this video to get the achievements, that's why I designed it this way. I'm just running through as fast as I can. Now I'm showing you here when you interact with the audio tapes. I think there are 11, I want to say, in total. When you interact with them, it goes to black and white, and you can't leave the area. A lot of them are in confined spaces, and a door will close. You won't be able to interact with the door until the audio of the tape is finished. And again, they're all narrated by our main character, explaining her story, how she came to be here, and then what it was like. The main guy, as you can imagine, is a very messed up cult leader. He had all these excuses for why he should be able to sleep with all the different women, even if they were married. It was God's will, blah, blah, blah. Obviously, I'm not going to explore every room here. There's a kitchen. There's a storage room that I don't go in. The bathrooms, there's no need to go in. Okay, but once that first audio tape's done, we're going to come in this little container, get the generator key, go outside, turn on the generator. You actually don't have to do this, but I just want to show you that location in case you also did want to explore. Now you can turn on the light switch right there for the whole hallway. Come in the first room on the left. Light switch will be behind the door, but we're not even going to turn it on. But on the right side of the bookcase that's in that first room on the left are 2 different keys. The gate key, which we use right here. And then we're going to make a right, take another right. We're going to head toward the baseball field right now. And then we're going to make our way to the farm shed, which was the other key we just picked up. And here is our first optional achievement. Now that we've unlocked the gate, we've come through along the right. I always like to start at home plate. I haven't really tested starting at other bases, but I imagine it works as long as you do all 4 and return to the one that you started on. And there we go. Get the achievement for that. All right, now we're going to head past the cornfields. We're going to head to the farm shed. There's going to be a few things in here. There's going to be an audio tape. There's going to be a key and a jacket on the wall. And there's going to be batteries, which is one of the optional achievements. Now, you apparently always have a flashlight with you, but you can't ever use it until you pick up the batteries. Now, I had one unfortunate playthrough on an account one time where I never picked up the batteries, and when you get to the mines, it's so dark. Even if you turn like the whatever like setting all the way up to make it bright, it's still pretty hard to see. So I highly suggest early on in the game coming over here and getting the batteries for the flashlight, because it's very helpful. This game is quite literally visually dark the further you get in. It goes from like daytime to nighttime for majority of the game here coming up.
There's a reason for that, he said. They've been lying to you, all of them. And I knew.
And you'll see about half of the whole playthrough here is going to be standing still, waiting for these audio things to finish. The next to last one in the game is in the church when they burned themselves to death. And that is about like 3.5 minutes long. Okay, but we make sure you have interacted with the jacket that was on the right side inside the shed there. And it's going to have a key for Andrew's trailer. Now, there's a kind of bizarre thing in this game. You find a master key for all trailers, but it only unlocks one of the trailers. You need individual keys for all of the other trailers you have to go in. So definitely not a master key. All right, we're going to pick up another optional achievement here. This is to find the pregnancy test. We're going to go to the second set of outside bathroom stalls, and in the first one of those, in the toilet, is the pregnancy test. You just have to hit A to interact with it, and you'll get I think it's like a 90-point achievement. All right, now we're going to head to Andrew's trailer, which is the first male trailer. There's 4 rows of trailers, 2 male and then 2 female. So this is technically the second one in, the first one in that row. So you see we interacted with an audio journal in here, and there's also going to be a key on the bed to pick up, but while the audio thing is going, you're not allowed to interact with other items. So we're going to wait till it finishes. So now she's describing a typical day before she came here. She would just want every day to be over until she got here. She said she would do anything for the father, even sleep with him. Nice. We're going to see evidence of that and get a journal about that. But we now got the key for Viola's trailer. Now when you come out the door, turn right and go pretty much straight, a little toward the right, you're going to find that. Use the key that we just picked up, and there's another tape deck. And then there's nothing else to pick up in here, but there are a lot of journal entries that you could interact with if you want to get more of the story, the backstory of the characters. But again, we're doing this very, very quickly. This is designed just to help you get all the achievements as fast as we can. And we're just waiting for the diary to finish, and then we can interact with the door and get out. And here we go. Now we're going to be heading toward the school. You only have to go in the school for our purposes to get one of the audio journals, but also on the calendar to the right of the blackboard, when you interact with that, you'll see the day that the prophet was born, his birthday, and that's the code we're going to need for a lock to get into the compound for the cult leader coming up. And that code, just in case you want to write it down right now, is 0603. But here we go with the audio journal about the teacher, Viola, talking about hell and how it scared the kids. You could read some of the kids' papers on the wall to the right. But again, I'm not even going to go to the calendar because I know the code. So once you leave the school, we're going to run past it and come down toward this fenced-in area. You have to individually interact with the lock. You can't just interact with the gate. It'll just say it's locked. So we go to the padlock, we go 0603, and it opens up. And we're just going to run in, open the door. Immediately on the right is another room. We're going to go in there. There's going to be a key, an audio journal, and then we're also going to interact with the camera. You could see set up on a tripod to our left. We get a VHS tape that we can eventually play on the second floor in this building, and it'll have the code to a safe. But I mostly remembered the code to a safe. I got the third number wrong, I think, the first 2 times, but on the third try I got it. I think it's 356 or 346. Or no, geez, we'll have to see it. I think it's 3564. But again, that will be pretty far from here. I think it's about 15 minutes from now. Maybe a little bit less. Again, we're just waiting for this to finish. This is the messed up part of the cult leader justifying him being able to sleep with any of the women because it's God's will. And there we go, picking up the key on the table, interacting with the camera. We have taken the tape out of it. And now that we have that key, that was the master key for the trailers, which again only opens one guy's trailer. So that's where we're headed right now. It's going to be on the left-hand side of the 2 rows of the men's trailers. And it's going to be, I think, the 3rd or 4th one up on that left side. We're also going to pass one with a padlock on the door. The trailer we're about to go to unlock with the master key. We'll have the bolt cutters to unlock that. Anytime you see just open door, that means you can't open that door on a trailer. If you see a person's name, that means you will eventually be able to access that trailer. All right, so once we're in here, we're going to pick up the bolt cutters. Nice pronunciation there. The bolt cutters, and then we're going to interact with the audio diary on the left side. Then again, once this finishes, we're going to just head back 2 trailers down in the same row and use the bolt cutters, which I then think in that trailer we can get a shovel. I believe that will be the only thing in that trailer. So the other plot line we're getting here is that the cult leader was suspicious, and he asked a woman to find out who is the spy. It turns out this guy had been spying on them and was going to report them to the FBI. So here we have the bolt cutters to use in the door. I'm going to go in, get the shovel. Again, a couple journal things you can interact with here, but for achievements, we do not need them. We're going to take the shovel to the left of the baseball diamond here. So once we're out into the open, we turn left. If you see any of the bases, you'll know you've gone a bit too far. We're going to an area with benches and kind of a fire pit in the middle. So we see right here. We're going to go up to the tree, interact with the patch of dirt, use the shovel. And we've now gotten the key for Lillian's trailer. We're going to run all the way back to the trailers. I think Lillian's trailer is the first one in the final row. And in there, I believe we get the key for their like sacrificial barn, where they cut off like their own fingers and things if they committed sins, which is not too great. All right, but here we go, Lillian's trailer. There's another audio journal in here, tape deck as they're called in the game, and then we see the key on the wall. Excuse me. So here's them talking about the FBI and the cult, and she said, "Oh, I never really thought of it that way, but the more she thought about it, the more she realized, yeah, maybe this is not right."
First, I refused to read it. What was the point? How could that have anything to do with our group? But I did read it. and even though my entire brain was
And I'm sorry if I'm talking like every second of the video, but I do have the gameplay volume turned all the way down, so I just want to not have like long pauses where like you're falling asleep. But I know I'm also commentating the whole thing, so you can try and just follow along with the video. So once that tape deck is finished in Lillian's trailer, we pick up the key that was on the wall, and now we're heading to the barn. This is on the south side of the fields of corn. So we're going past the baseball diamond, and it's the big barn. You see the church up on the hill there I just looked at. It's over to the right from there. And the mines are kind of in between. That's where we're going to head next. We have to get the key for them in the barn. All right, so you'll hear fly noises, and there's also going to be a bunch of blood. But we use the key we just got. There we go, the cleansing room. We pick up an axe on the altar. We're going to have to use that to break down 2 sets of boards. Interact with the ladder. Once we're up top, there's going to be a key on the pedestal, the stand here, and then another tape deck.
He called it the cleansing room, where we exchange pain in this.
I believe this is like the 8th tape deck, so I think you should have 2 of the achievements for them now, and then there's only going to be 3 more, I believe. And we'll have all of them. The last 2 are in the church area, which is the final part. And there's 1 in the mine. So yeah, I think there's 3 more. Alright, so once that finishes, we can interact with the ladder. You can go out either side of the barn, but I often go out that side, which gets me turned around, but here's the door we came in. If you go out that one, you can just turn right, and we head right to the mine, use the key we had just picked up on that music stand to get in, and then we use the axe we just got on the altar on these boards. Use the elevator to go down. Now, there's a bizarre thing here with the caves. There are a lot of parts that are dead ends. We also still have the generator key, even though there's no other use for it in the game. There's a generator here. You see the power flickering. Eventually the power goes out, but you can't use the generator key because apparently it's out of fuel. So we're going to have to find fuel to then put in that generator later in the sequence. Okay, but I know I'm moving quickly here just to spell it out for you. Once you come down the mines, you go straight, take the first right, take the next left that comes up, and if you just continue straight ahead, you'll find the fuel that I just picked up, and then we come back down and hug the left wall, and you're going to run into this mine cart. We use the fuel we just picked up to like grease the wheels, and we could push it out of the way. Then use the axe to break down the boards. Find this dead body, but we'll also find a tape deck, and then there's the fuel we're going to have to use on the generator. Now, there's a story-related achievement, which I assume pops up if you don't interact with the body, but just to be safe, you might want to interact with the body. It makes a note come out, and when you interact with that note, I think the achievement will immediately unlock. But that note tells you where to go next. So if you hadn't read that note, you would have no idea where to go. But again, I've played through this game a few times, so I'm just going to run right there. But when you interact with the body, it does drop a note. When you interact with that note, it'll talk about a patch of dirt in the, I think it's northwest cornfield, and that's where we're going to be headed. Oh, I do interact with it. There we go. All right, but instead of heading right back to the elevator, we're going to have to, as we head back down the tunnel, take the left, and we're just going to head straight as long as we can, because we're going to have to put the fuel we picked up into the generator. All right, there we go. And now we can take the elevator back up. So we turn around, take the next right, and we're heading up. So now we're about 2/3 through the video. We're almost done. The last like 10 minutes are all in the church. So we're almost there. A lot of it is just unskippable audio. So I think I'm even going to end my commentary at that point. There's almost nothing else to say other than avoid using the guide button to hold down when you unlock achievements, because that has broken the game for me about 2 or 3 times in my experience. So once you've come out of the mines, we're heading north. There are 4 sets of cornfields, 2 on the right, 2 on the left. We're heading to the back left one, and we're heading almost to the top left of that field. And here we go with the patch of dirt. We use the shovel again, and we have picked up the key. This is now for the 2nd floor of the cult leader's house. So we're making our way back there. It's kind of a diagonal to the right. And we're just going to be running for a while here. There's also a couple other rooms you can go in the cult leader's house. There's the kitchen. There's like a storage room. There are a couple other things that I don't think I read or interact with in the guy's room. I think a few pages of his like cult philosophy is in a journal. But we're just running. If you run into this fence, we head to the right just to get there a bit faster. We're heading toward the red lights down there. Again, the game is just very, very dark. Maybe certain TVs let you turn the gamma up in general pretty high, and it gets easier to see, but otherwise it could be difficult. All right, but we're back here. Once inside, we head up the stairs on the right, use the small key we got, and we're in here. Now, the tape we got earlier from downstairs, we could put in the VCR, and at the end of it, we have the guy asking his wife what the code is. But again, I'm just trying to remember it. I believe it is 3564, and unfortunately I did 3574 the first time, so I messed it up. Here I have 4 as the second number, so that's what messed it up. Here we go, 3565. Nope, it's 3564. There we go. But again, you learn that naturally by putting in the videotape, and at the end he is like asking himself the combinations, and when he can't remember, he asks his wife, but then he does remember. Okay, but in the safe was again a journal piece you can read, and then a little circle piece we have to pick up, a sigil, and that is how we unlock the church. So when we come out of the fenced compound, we take a left, and we just try and head over these hills. Sometimes there's like an invisible wall, as we saw there. So you might have to go a little bit to the left or right, but then you get up over the hill, and we're heading to the church on top of the hill. All right, but once we use the sigil here, there's going to be a tape deck on the altar. This tape deck is going to be the longest of the game, again about 3.5 minutes. And then the only other 2 remaining achievements, there is going to be 1 more tape deck we pick up, which is going to be on a table to the right when we go down a couple ramps. And then there's going to be the story progression achievement for finishing the game, which I think will happen as soon as the ending cutscene starts. But if it doesn't unlock right away, you might just want to set your controller down until the credits start, and then you should have it. Alright, but this has been Jeff for Respawn Studios. I'm going to allow the game audio to take over here for the ending sequences, because there's nothing really else I have to explain. You just keep running. Hope you found this guide useful. Thank you very much for watching, and I should be back with more videos soon.
Today, we take our place at the foot of the throne of the Lord. Here now. We'll dull the bodies a little. There's no need for it to hurt. Here, drink this. Drink this. Pass these around. Things will go a little fuzzy, but then the flames will take us, and we will join our Lord in his heaven. We will be by his side forever, where we belong. Amen. Amen. Boy, I love each and every one of you so much. God bless.
That's when they locked the doors, and then Andrew and Leonard started soaking rags in lighter fluid while I started handing out the cups. Little paper cups full of crushed up Quaaludes mixed with lemonade. Father kept preaching as we drank. They lit the rags and put them around the outer walls. Everything caught so quickly. Soon everything was on fire, and people just sat down in it. let it take them. Something clicked. I don't know what. I needed to get out. I didn't want to die. I remembered Father's temple and I ran. The door shut behind me and everything was dark and completely silent, as if the burning chapel and all the people dying behind me didn't exist. The drugs took over then, and it was all I could do to crawl into bed before I passed out.
Ma'am, who started the fire? Ma'am, I know you've been through a lot, but we need your cooperation to piece all of this together. Who started the fire?
Pretty much everyone. Father James lit the first flame, but the others helped it spread.
So they weren't coerced?
No. They were weeping with joy. People were singing.
And you? What did you do? Ma'am?
Honey, you're being quiet.
I don't know what to say.
It's just... Lillian, was it something we did?
Dad,
I just don't understand how you could run off and join some insane cult.
I don't know, Dad. I don't know.
You're a smart girl. What were you thinking? Lillian, the things I've heard on the news. Where are you going?
So, Lillian, have you been having any more thoughts since your last attempt?
All the time.
It seems as if you almost regret surviving the fire.
I don't know. I don't. It's so confusing. I didn't want to die, but I feel like I let them all down.
Let them down because you didn't save them? Or because you didn't die with them?
I don't know anymore.
Well, listen to me. No matter what, you deserve to live. I promise you. Lillian, you deserve to live.
I need to go. I can't do this right now. I can't.
I'm sure you don't want to hear me ramble about mechanical engineering for another 20 minutes. Tell me more about you. You studied communications, right? What kind of job does that get you?
Well, right off the bat, not much. I couldn't find work, so I ended up backpacking through Europe for a year after college.
Oh, cool. I've always wanted to do something like that. I bet it was amazing.
Yeah, it was super fulfilling to see all those different ways of life. Really eye-opening. God, that was a long time ago.
Man, I'm jealous. I jumped right into work after school. Working 80 hours? You know how it is. Just expect to devote everything to it. It's like a religion. It took me a while to see how messed up it was.
Yeah, I can imagine.
You have one unheard message. First unheard message sent yesterday at 7:15 p.m.
Lil, is everything alright? I've been trying to get a hold of you all day. Please pick up. I'm worried about you. Okay, just call me back. Love you.
End of message. To delete this message, press 7. Message deleted.
I remember now. I tried not to. I thought I could move on. Pretend it hadn't happened. But here it is. I'm looking at it. I was here. We were all here. And now it's just me.
Oh, Lil, Jesus, there you are. I've been trying to get a hold of you for hours. Where are you?
I had to take care of something.
Look, are you okay? I was getting worried.
Yes, I'm fine. I'm heading home now. Tim? There's some things I need to tell you. I met Anne first, waiting for the bus. Normally, I avoid talking to just about anybody, but she struck up the conversation. She was so pleasant, so confident. She smiled at me as if she had known me as a kid, and we were just catching up after all these years. She told me she could tell I had a hole in my life. She knew what that was like, she said. She had also had a hole, but it was gone now. I asked her what she was selling, and she laughed and said nothing at all, that what she had to offer was free for anyone who wanted it bad enough. I asked her what had helped her. She just said, James.